Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Tuesday, November 14th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's gonna open in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple things here to update and we should be good to go. That looks good there. Looks good there. One last thing, and it looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Oh. Two links sent out over here. That we are good to go, guys. So I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. As people join in, I'm going to start marking up liquidity over here on our clean chart. You guys can see the huge candle right there. Pretty much knocked out all of the sitting liquidity for a lot of these time frames here. So let me go ahead and start market liquidity here on the daily time frame. So let me start with this right there. On down to the 8-hour. Going down to the 4-hour. Going down to the 2-hour. Going down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Change the color of this to red. All right. Down to the 15-minute. And lastly, down to the 10-minute, of course. All right, so we got liquidity marked up right here, guys. First level of liquidity above is basically the higher high point of this like current price right now. So if price decides to continue climbing higher, it's probably going to break this higher high right here where this liquidity is sitting. It's sitting at 34,779. I would be careful with, really any of these entries. You guys can see this huge candle here cause an extreme volatility push based off the CPI inflation news this morning. So definitely want to be careful with any entry that you guys are looking to take it, because you don't know if price is going to continue pushing up higher or if it's going to correct back down. The candle here kind of screwed up the chart a bit, so it's kind of hard to see. It's pretty obvious. You guys can see here, this CPI news was pretty extreme. So, all right, guys, other than that, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, November 14th. It is 6:27 right now. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. And we'll see what happens here. So morning, Kevin, morning, Kenny, morning, Maria, morning, Daniel, morning, everybody. Looks like majority of you guys are here so far. But yeah, we'll see what happens here when the market opens in a few. But yeah, huge news candle right there was exactly what we were expecting. This is what we were talking about yesterday. The inflation news came out. It's inflation week, so CPI week, basically. They're going to be releasing a lot of inflation news all throughout the week. So be prepared for a lot of crazy movement here. So first level of liquidity is going to be up here, like I mentioned. But again, you want to be careful because there's no telling if price is going to continue climbing, if it's going to fake out and correct back down. There's just too many things here to take into consideration. So, all right, here's our high-low scalp chart. 5-minute one over here as well. and our main chart over here. So let me just mark up the news real quick. So we had news over here at 5:30. So we had news at 5:30, or we had a lot of news actually. We had news at 3 o'clock, 5:30, 5:55, and 6. So let's start off with 3, 5:30. So let's start off with 3 first. So 3 o'clock was over here. I mean, it's pretty irrelevant because the big candle is what's gonna pretty much set everything off. So we had news over here at 3 o'clock. We had news at 5:30, obviously the huge candle. There's news at 5:55, which is, I mean, it's pretty underwhelming compared to the big candle there. And news at 6 o'clock, which was, so a lot of news events today. And market is about to open in about a minute, guys. So, hey, Dan, morning. Morning, Idris. Morning, everybody. Yeah, man, he said 400 point push is insane. Yeah, that's pretty big for the CPI news. I mean, let's check the CPI news. I'm assuming it was, so here's the crazy thing. The CPI news is all negative. So I think price is going to come back down. I think that's all manipulation. It's pretty crazy to see price climb, 4,000 pips and everything here is negative. Can you guys believe that? This is straight manipulation right here. Like, this should have never happened. So maybe you might expect price to come right back down, because this kind of blows my mind that the news here was completely negative, but price still climbed 4,000 pips. That like screams manipulation to you directly. There's no reason for it to climb here at all. Like, literally no reason. So I'm kind of curious to see what happens, because it definitely should not have climbed like that. So market is now open, guys. We have the opening candle right here. We currently have a buy signal. So if price continues to, provide two buy candles, it might be a buy entry, but I would be careful with any buys here because the news here was not positive at all. No reason for it to push up. I mean, there's really no reason for it to push up aside from price being manipulated extremely high. So we'll see. Anyways, here goes the liquidity push, guys. It already hit TP, it hit pre-market. So I don't know if anybody was able to catch that, but it went pre-market right there for that higher level. Yeah, that's pretty insane to see it. I've never seen I've seen a lot of manipulation, but not like this. Like, this manipulation is pretty crazy. The only time I've seen manipulation like this is during COVID and when Trump was president, right? Because the economy was going to shit during COVID, and Trump would say whatever he could to make the economy look good, and it would just spike up. But during a regular market like this, like, no normal day, normal news event, there's no, I just can't, I can't fathom how high it could like climb like that. Let's see. So MA said negative means inflation went down, which means they might not need to raise interest rates anymore. This is good for the market. Is that the case? I thought it was the opposite. MA, let me check. So let's go over here real quick. Let's go to CPI. The inflation actually went up, MA. So they were forecasting it to be 3.2. It went up to 3.7. So I don't think it's good. See, it says right here, actual greater for the forecast is good for currency. It was, or you might be right. I don't know. I could be, well, the way I saw it, I thought it was the opposite. So it says usual effect, actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So you might be right. No, the actual was actually less. Yeah, so I think that was, so it was 3.2 and it went down to 3. It was, they're forecasting it to be 3.3. It went down to 3.2. So it's actually not good for MA. Yeah, it's like C-Suk said, they're still talking about increasing rates. Yeah, I don't see them decreasing rates at all. It's like, there's no way, because if you guys listen to Powell, he spoke about it last week. He said that they haven't done enough to slow down inflation. So he said that's not good for the economy. So I think what I was mentioning before, like, it's not good for the economy right here, MA, because this would have to be higher. They forecasted it to be 3.3. It had to be like about at least 3.3 or higher. It was 3.2. So it's actually not good for the economy. let's see, MA said they targeted it. Yeah, they targeted it at 3.3, but it was actually, the actual was 3.2. So no, the forecast right here is 3.3 MA. So let me go over here real quick. Yeah, so they targeted it at 3.3, but it was lower. It wasn't higher. So it's not good for the economy. See, it says worse than expected result. That's why it's in red. They didn't raise it as much as they thought, but it's still negative. So price should not have climbed this high. That's why it's correcting back down right now. It's coming right back down. So I think what I anticipated was right. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fundamentalist, so I don't, and it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just saying this is like, it just doesn't make sense for price to climb this high. Like if it was positive, then yeah, I would expect it to climb high, but it's still negative. It's not like inflation is slowed down, right? So I'm just telling you what I think, and this is what I see. But if MA is right, then it's that he could be right? I have no idea. I'm not a fundamentalist. I don't follow this at all. I'm just giving you the obvious, right? The obvious here is that the news was negative, so there's no reason for it to climb this high. I know it was probably not as high as people was expecting, but it's still not, it's not any better than it was last month. So what I'm seeing here is that there's just no, like, I don't know what the explanation would be for it to be this high, right? There's nothing that anybody could say that would be like, oh yeah, inflation went up a little bit by like 0.1 and that's why it went up. But that, like, this is just a crazy jump. I maybe expect maybe 1,000 pip push or even less than 1,000 pip push, but this is a 4,000 pip push up and the news was negative. So yeah, I mean, whatever it is, what it is. And however you guys want to analyze it, that's completely fine. It doesn't affect us because we're not trading these bigger moves, we're trading the scalps within. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to look deeper into that, feel free. I just have no idea because I don't understand how the fundamentals work. I just know the basics of fundamentals, and I look at what it says here, and basically the breakdown for it is that it wasn't good. So yeah. But if you guys want to look deeper into it, feel free. I don't know any resources to push you towards because even myself, I wouldn't know how to really analyze fundamentals because it's not necessarily required for me because we're not looking for any big moves here. I'm looking for the scalps within. I actually like that this pushed up because now we have volatility. Price will probably go up or down. Yeah, exactly. C6 said fundamentals don't work well with scalping unless you're looking to enter off 1 hour trades. Yeah, same here. So we're trading off the 1 minute. This big move doesn't really matter to me. I just need to see if this corrects back down. So if this corrects back down, then fine, we'll start looking for some sells. And if price, continues to climb back up, then we'll look for some buys. But at the moment, it doesn't really matter to me. It's just, we see this big gap over here. So for me, I'm expecting it to maybe correct back down, especially because the news wasn't positive. But, we're not swing traders, so the news doesn't really matter to us. We're just looking to get our quick little buck here between 6:30 and 8, and that's all that matters to me personally. All right, so the counter scalp over here, let's see, Maddie said the counter scalp. Gotcha, okay, yeah, no, for sure. Or did it come up already, Maddie? Let me see. I don't think there was a counter scalp that came up yet, Maddie, because we have a sell signal here, but there's no 2 green candles. You need 2 green candles in order for it to be a counter scalp. Which one? This one over here? Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't see it from like zoomed out. Now that I zoomed in, I can kind of see it right there. Thanks for letting me know. Because I'm looking over here at MT4. It's actually red on MT4. So I'll just mark that up and I'll put this here for the spreadsheet, just so that you guys have an idea and understand. So the entry over here came up at 636. That's for our spreadsheet here for the high-low momentum counter scalp. So, oops, wrong side. Today's the 14th. And this year's flying by, guys. We're almost into 2024. I'm pretty excited for 2024 because, like, me and Maddie, we've been talking about it. This year's been, I mean, it's been all right, but it hasn't been super great. Actually, no, I take that back. This year's been great, but these past couple months have not been the best because of the market conditions. So I'm pretty ready for the market to finally be over for this year and allow us to hopefully pick back up for the next season. We're getting close to the holidays, so like a lot of these trades here, they're just not going to provide us any opportunity. The breakout V2 actually came up right here too. I don't know if it actually played. Didn't. So I'm going to add that over here to the spreadsheet as well. You guys can see how high the volatility is right here. It's not a good time to make any entries, guys. As you guys can see, the volatility is extremely high and it's spiking back and forth. So I'd probably be careful with taking like really any entries here at all because so this entry came up at 633. Just wait for the market to kind of stabilize a bit and then look for some entries because right now it's just not providing very many opportunities to really look for anything here that's worthwhile. Because there's just too many, the price is too crazy. Extreme price gap during CPI news. Price shot up 4,000 pips and heavy back and forth. All right, so we haven't taken any trades today. These are just trades that we're documenting. You know, I'll see how this plays out, and then we'll add it at the end of the year. And once we add it at the end of the year, we'll see which ones we decide to continue applying because like we need to see, like we have a pretty good sample now, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the next year. Because if it's a good strategy, we'll continue applying it. But if not, then we'll hold off on it. So right now, I think someone asked if there is a C6 asking if there's a current high-low scalp V2. Not yet, C6, so almost. So for me, I usually look for the high lows after market open. Market open right here at 630. I typically look for any highs or lows that become established after this opening price. Because you'll see a lot of fake outs that happen over here. I mean, if you were looking at this one right here, then actually, I mean, there still wouldn't be an entry there. There might have been one right here. So this might be the one that you were talking about, Sisu, at 632. But again, I wouldn't take any entries at this time. And again, I'm looking to take, look for any of these high lows that come up after. So if this high low right here gets established, then this might be like the first one that I'll be looking for if it comes up. But again, it hasn't been established yet. You have to wait for 4 or 5 candles to pass until this establishes. And then once it does, you can use that as the high low for the high low scalp V2. Going over here to the 5 minute. There's nothing here on the 5 minute. For the 5 minute, I don't really use I don't use any criteria for the high lows. I just use pretty much whatever comes up, right? So like this one's fine, this one's fine. It's on a higher time frame, so it doesn't really matter as much on the 5 minute because you're going to get a lot of back and forth movement to begin with. So for the 5 minute here, I'm not really expecting too much to change. We'll come back to the 5 minute. We'll use this as a confluence. But yeah, right now there's just nothing for us there either. There's nothing here for liquidity because liquidity already got hit pre-market, guys. So the first level of liquidity right there got hit. You can see or wait for maybe a possible retest of the area because if it does come back to this area, it may continue climbing. But again, we don't know what's going to happen here because this huge push can just pull price back down. So you want to be careful and not get caught in any of the fake outs because it might fake out a second time, establish maybe a double top right here, fake out, and then come back down. So just be careful with these entries here. But if you want to look for a possible retest of the area, that's something that you guys can look for. Opening price is right here. So price still hasn't really gone anywhere. Let me see if there's any zones here that I can mark up. So I'm going to update this when new zones are produced. But right now, we're just going to leave this up here so that you guys have an idea that, okay, this is like pretty much where price is ranging at the moment. Right, this is where it's ranging at the moment. No high-low scalp V2s. There's no momentum pullback scalps just yet. There might be one setting up here. So if we get a buy signal here, there might be a momentum scalp or momentum pullback scalp setting up. Definitely want to be a little careful though. Because again, like I mentioned, price is starting to squeeze here. As you guys can see the consolidation. So price is starting to squeeze right here. And when price starts to squeeze like this, it's just preparing for a breakout, right? A breakout's going to happen to the upside or it's going to happen to the downside. So you probably want to wait for that breakout to happen and then look for the continuation in that direction. So we'll see what happens here. If the buy signal comes up, then this might be setting up for a momentum pullback scalp. But as you guys can see from each candle here, it's just going back and forth. It's not really much of a direction. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Alan said with that huge move, I've grown feathers. Yeah, you want to be careful with that because, with that huge move based off the news, like I mentioned earlier, guys, price can either climb back down to fill this big ass gap. That's just like, this gap here is huge. Yeah, I haven't seen a move like this in a while, right? CPI comes out every month. So every month there's CPI news, but I haven't seen CPI push this far out, especially in the opposite direction of news, right? News was negative and it pushed up 4,000 pips. If you look at CPI from the previous month, it probably pushes maybe 1,000 to maybe 2,000 pips, but a 4,000 pip move in the opposite direction is extremely high. You can see that price did come down initially. So you can see how the fake out here happened, right? So initially when the news came out, it came down heavily. So people chased the sell here. It came down about 600 or 700 pips. And then as soon as it whipsawed down here, it shot all the way up. So you can see like it actually trapped a lot of people this morning because the news was negative. As soon as the news came out as negative, I'm pretty sure a lot of people chased it for a sell because it all came out negative, right? When it came out negative, it came down slightly. And then as soon as it came down, it shot all the way back up. So it basically just faked everybody out. And you could only imagine this right here. Like imagine if you guys were taking a sell right here. I'm pretty sure a lot of people got hit with a ton of slippage and their accounts just got blown because when price swung up this, I'm pretty sure it shot up super fast that a lot of people here got stopped out with slippage. So, their stop loss might have been like right here, but they probably got stopped out like way up here. Ellen said, do all gaps get filled? And Jackson said, ask Nietzsche. No, there's no guarantee for a gap to get filled, Alan. It doesn't always get filled. You can see right here, it's not getting filled at all, right? Price is going right back up. So there's no guarantee. You can't just say, okay, just because a gap is going to come back down. It should come back down, but it doesn't necessarily have to, right? Price can continue to get manipulated, and then it can probably get filled later on in the week, like Maddie just mentioned. You can't predict what's going to happen. You can't just say, oh, just because a gap, it's going to come right back down, right? It can easily just climb back up, and that's exactly what's happening here. It's continuing the push to the upside. So you can't really predict when it's finally going to come down. Eventually it'll probably come down, but at the moment, probably not. The 5 minute here just got pushed above, guys. So there's a high-low scalp V2 that's setting up on the 5 minute here. We'll use this as a confluence. I don't think I'll take it as an actual trade because the obvious that we mentioned earlier. Okay, so this high over here did not get established, guys, on the 1 minute. So this can't be used as the high. We do have the high here on the 5 minute though. So there might be a high-low scalp V2 setting up here on the 5, but we don't have one here on the 1 minute. We might have a momentum pullback scalp here setting up on the 1 minute as well. But again, I'm still kind of wary about taking the entries here right now, specifically because of the market volatility. If you guys want to take it, I'll mark it up for you guys. I'll let you guys know if I do plan on taking it. But at the moment right now, I don't have any, I'm not planning on taking it at the moment. So yeah, if anything, I'll wait for it to maybe pull back a little bit into some drawdown, and then I'll set a pending order right there. So if it shoots back up, I'll be able to catch it. So if it pulls back a little lower, I'll catch it as it swings up. But right now, I'm not going to take that risk because it's just too risky right now for me to personally get into anything because it's just a little too high. All right, so we have the setup right here, guys. The entry is going to happen at the 1800 mark. So let me see if I can maybe mark this up or figure out where the price is for this. So the price for this is going to be at about 49, 37, 347, 347, 49. Let me see if I get a pending order just set up, just in case. 347, 49. I don't think this is going to set up, but I'm just going to leave it up there just in case. Stop loss is at 3, 4, 17, 3, 4, 7. Yeah, so it didn't get filled. The entry here did not get filled, guys, for the momentum pullback scalp. The price pushed up again. So now you have to look for another retracement. So this right here is invalidated. Price pushed up higher. And again, I'm just going to wait. This thing's climbing up pretty high. Yeah, you guys want to be careful. There's so Maddie just also confirmed that the Fed is going to speak in about 10 minutes. So you definitely want to be careful. Fed bar is going to speak in 10 minutes. He's going to be reflecting on the CPI news today. So with the CPI news being negative, I think this might be manipulation, guys. I think price might be manipulated up and then it'll come crashing right back down when Fed bar starts speaking, because he's going to confirm a lot of things. The entry point for this here, guys, again, is still at the same price point, looks like, or it looks like it might be at the same price point. Yeah, so if anybody's looking to take it, it's going to be right here. I'm probably not going to take it on myself. It's very overextended at this point. I'll watch it for you guys, but I'm not going to be taking it myself. Yeah, price is very overextended at this point. If you measure from this price down here to this price up here, price is pushed up about 1,390 pips. So it's due for retracement. I'll follow it with you guys though. I'm going to close my order of ticket. I'm not going to take the order. I just realized that it was super overextended. Thanks, Randy, for confirming that. I didn't really look at the lower low here. Actually, let me check this. I think I have this set up wrong. Nope, you're right. It's not set up wrong. I thought I had higher highs and lower lows only set up. So if you guys took it, it looks like it hit TP right there already. Yeah, it hit TP, guys. So price came down and filled the order, went straight to TP. If you guys took it, great work. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. I didn't take it myself. It's not going to count as an official trade, but I did mark it up for you guys here if you guys wanted to take it. I think it's just a little too risky. It's a little too risky with everything that's happening behind the scenes. We have the Fed speaking. That's the thing that I'm most worried about, is that the Fed is going to speak in about 9 minutes, and the Fed is going to confirm the negative news, right? So when they confirm the negative news, that's when price might start climbing back down, at least back to open. So it'll probably climb back to open right here when the Fed starts speaking. Because the thing is, he's gonna reiterate what happened. He's gonna say, okay, inflation came out. The inflation news was not what they expected. It wasn't super high, but it also wasn't low at all. It was still negative news, right? So I think when he starts speaking, price is gonna start to have a stronger push down. It might not push super heavy down, but I think it might. There's 2 target price points here. So looking at where price is currently at right now, first target price point, if it does correct back down, let's go to the clean chart over here. So first target price point is going to be opening price, right? That's going to be the first target price point. Next target price point, if it drops lower, is going to be the lower level right here. So this is going to be the next target price point. Once it hits this point right here, 1 of 2 things are going to happen. Price is either going to bounce off it and correct back up, or price is going to break below and continue climbing down to fill the gap from this morning, right? So a lot of different scenarios here that are going to play out. Let me see if there's any new zones here. All right, so this zone right here is pretty much, it's been replaced by this one right here. We'll see if it holds. If it holds, then great. If it doesn't, we'll create a new zone. But you guys can see here that this is it's a more stable range. So we do have a stable range right here now. So this is the middle point, higher range, back to middle point, lower range. A lot of different sides there. So got that marked up right there. Here is the high-low scalp V2 chart. We have a level right there. The 5-minute here still hasn't confirmed an entry yet, but might be setting up soon if price does come back down. Nice, Brock caught the momentum pullback scalp. So nice work right there, Brock, for catching that. This momentum signal has already been used. You have to now wait for the next one. So we need price to retrace back down. Once it retraces back down, we can look for the continuation back up. Right now, there's nothing for us to take here on the main chart. Yeah, same here, Manny. Let it hit. All right. So let's see. Fed bar is speaking at 7 o'clock. We have Fed Messer speaking at 8 o'clock. We have Fed member Goolsbee speaking at 9:45. So pretty much all day today, the Fed members are going to be speaking about the inflation rate. So the inflation rate over here, as you guys can see, the month over month hasn't really increased. The core inflation went up 0.2%. The actual inflation rate went up, or it went down slightly. And just looking at this here, guys, so they're going to be talking about like what's the next step, right? So the inflation news here came out. Again, this isn't really a big deal for us because we're scalping here. If you guys are intraday trading or even swing trading, this is going to be a big deal to you guys because this is going to dictate where price is going to move from now until tomorrow, right? From now until the end of the week. For us here, scalping, it doesn't really matter to us because we're looking for these smaller moves within. So for us here, it's not a big deal. You know, whatever happens, happens. And I'm just looking for our opportunities to take entries here. So if you guys don't care about fundamentals, I recommend that you still don't care about fundamentals, right? You don't want to get too deep into this because once you guys get deep into fundamentals, it's going to mess with your thought process. You're going to think just because the news here sets, you know, some type of precedent, you're not going to want to take trade in certain directions, right? So for example, here with the news being negative, you know, typically I wouldn't take any buys here, but you guys can see that buy entries are hitting. So I don't want that to scare me to take any buys. So if you guys don't care about fundamentals, I don't recommend you guys really dig too deep into it because it's not going to affect you that much if you're trading how we trade here. The only time it'll really affect you is if you're swing trading or intraday trading. Like if you're holding on to a position for a couple hours or even a couple days, this is going to affect you because there's more inflation news that are coming out later this week, right? If you hold anything overnight, you might get screwed. You're either going to get really lucky or you're going to get really screwed because price is either going to continue moving in your direction or it's going to go the complete opposite. So, and if you guys have been following a lot of people, so there's a lot of people out there who trade publicly, you know, like other people on Instagram, YouTube, etc. A lot of people don't swing trade anymore. Back then, swing trading was a big thing, but a lot of people don't do it anymore. A lot of people just scalp like we do, except we do it on a quicker basis because we only trade for about an hour. So, all right, we have a high-low scalp V2 that's setting up right here. Again, the Fed's going to speak in about 4 minutes, guys. So I'm not looking to take anything here until he's done speaking or until he starts speaking, because once he starts speaking, we're going to see a push either to the upside or we're going to see a push to the downside. And we'll see if price continues to climb in that direction. So I'm probably going to wait for him to be done speaking or at least say his part so that we know exactly where price is likely to continue pushing. So we have a high-low scalp V2 that's setting up right here, guys. If it sets up, I'll mark it up for you guys. But again, I'm not really planning on taking it because the Fed is going to speak in about 3 minutes. I want to see what happens when he speaks. And then when I see what happens, I'm going to see, okay, if I'm going to continue looking for buys here or if I'm going to start looking for some sells, because it's going to be hard to tell. And you can see right here, price is starting to set up for the entry. So again, if you guys are looking to take this entry here, I'll mark it up for you guys, but I'm not planning on taking it just yet. The Fed's going to speak in a few minutes. So, and right here, you need to wait for a sell signal anyways for a momentum pullback scalp to set up. If you guys followed my analysis here with the liquidity push, I mentioned if you guys wanted to look for that retest, it'll probably push through, and that's exactly what happened here. You guys can see price hit TP, came down, came back up for the retest, and then it pushed right through from where it's at. Okay, correct. It's all good, Craig. You missed one entry. It was the momentum pullback scalp. That was the first one that happened over here. Price kind of pushed up. So price pushed up, retraced right here. Entry happened at this lower point, and the momentum pullback scalp came up right there. Yeah, so that was the first one that came up today. The other one was a liquidity push. I don't know if you were following it, but I mentioned it earlier. I mentioned the retest of the area. Price came down. I said if you wanted to follow this up for a higher push, retest, and then it pushed right through. So if you wanted to take the retest entry right there, it would have been another opportunity right there for the most part. So two of the entries that we followed for today, they pretty much hit. We didn't follow the breakout V2 or the momentum counter scalp. Maddie just identified it after. Those two didn't play through, but we weren't able to identify it when they actually came up. All right, so price is currently above this, this range right here. The thing that you guys want to be careful for is a fake out. Fake out might happen here and price might come right back into the range, just like it did on Monday. And if it does that, it might pull back to the opening price here. So one thing to maybe look for here is if price pulls back under the range here, it might push down to the opening price. This will probably be the target price point for it to touch. But again, I'm going to be very careful with any entries here that I plan on taking. The high-low scalp V2 is currently running in profit, guys. If anybody's taking it, it's currently running right there. So this is the high-low scalp V2 that we marked up. As I mentioned, I'm not planning on taking anything until the Fed is done speaking. 7 o'clock, the Fed's supposed to start speaking right now. Fed bar. All right. So let's see. Let's just check the breaking news right here. It's a stock surge Tuesday as investors cheered that the latest US Consumer Price Index report. Dow jumped to 430 points. CPI was flat last month. So I think that's why we had that big push today, guys. So like, back to what MA was discussing earlier, he was correct about, the inflation rate not being necessarily horrible, but it also it wasn't great. It was because last month was flat, and this month just showed that it didn't make a huge increase after Powell spoke last week regarding us not doing enough to control inflation, right? So, going back to what MA was discussing, he was correct with the news. However, I think, I still don't think it should have pushed up that high. I think the push to the upside was still like a heavy manipulated push because it's not really good news. It's not like we're not out of the thick, right? We're still in the problem here with inflation. But so there goes a high-low scalp V2, guys, full TP right there. I know Maddie said it finally hit like in so long. This is how the high-low scalp V2 is supposed to hit, guys. So it's supposed to hit within the first couple candles. If you guys have been following the strategy for the past couple of weeks, it's been in a range for like, almost 30 minutes, and then it finally hits TP. You can see right here, this is exactly how the strategy was created. The strategy was created to move like this. This is what we were looking for. So I'm glad to see that it hit. So now that it's hit, I'm feeling a lot better about taking the entries because it's not ranging like how it's been for the past, 2 months now. So I'm going to add this to the spreadsheet over here. Entry came up at about, we'll say 654. I'm just going to eyeball it. I don't want to put too much effort into smooth move directly to TP. Entry happened around Fed talk. Yeah, so this is how the strategy is supposed to hit. I know it's been a while since we've seen it hit like this, but this is typically how it's supposed to hit. There's supposed to be no drawdown. Price is supposed to pull back, push above the level, retrace, fake out, come right back up, and correct straight to TP. This is exactly how the strategy is supposed to hit. So this here is a clear example of a high-low scalp V2. It's hard. It's been hard for us to find a clear example because of the market conditions lately, but it's all good. So we got that marked up right there. The 5 minute here never set up for an entry. So these levels here are still valid. So price can still come down from where it's at and then swing right back up. So just keep that in mind. You know, if price does come back down, the 5 minute here still has opportunity to set up for an entry. We'll use that as a confluence as price continues to move along here. Yeah, exactly. Andrew said, great to see it live, but it sucks that it was super overextended. I agree 100%. Yeah, it was really good to see it play out straight because this is exactly what we've been waiting for, right? I mean, like whenever we look for these entries, that's like the type of setup that we're pretty much looking for it to play through. There's a lot of sellers in the market. So if you guys can see, retail sentiment is currently 66% short. You know, this indicates that 66% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you can see a lot of people are getting burnt right now as they're trying to catch the top. The top hasn't been set. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. Well, actually, I guess now that we kind of have the direction here that price is likely to continue being bullish, we can possibly start looking for a buy here if we do have that opportunity. I'll draw another zone right here. Here's where things might get a little tricky. Now that we have another zone right there, we might get some hard consolidation around this area. And then again, it's going to break out in either direction. It'll break out to the top, break out to the bottom. It's going to be really hard to tell which direction price will be going. Yeah, Eunice said it might be heading up to the 4-hour liquidity. Let's see. Let's go on the 4-hour real quick. Let's go on the higher time frame, the 1 hour. Yeah, possibly. Let's see, the 4 hours are going to be like way up here. See where price is currently at. It might get hit like later today. Eunice, I could probably see it's 2,000 pips away, so it's pretty far out. But if we do get an increased volatility push, you know, possibly could be the case. You can see here that the volatility is kind of dying down a little bit. Let me check the ATR real quick. ATR is currently 20, or it's 19. So it's starting to die down a bit. ATR is currently at 22 like a few candles ago. It was at like 24, 22, 23. Now it's down to 18. So it's starting to slow down a little bit. The volatility is not horrible. It's still decent because anything above 15 is still a pretty fair game. But you can see over here on the clean chart, price is starting to come back down. Price has now created a new range within this area. All right, so looking for the sell signal here to come out. Once the sell signal comes out, we can start looking for some momentum pullback scalps. Medvest is asking any new strategies planned for 2024 or something new in developing for your indicators. No plans right now, Medvest. I mean, I don't see any reason for us to make any changes, right? Like I believe in this saying, like, you know, don't fix what isn't broken. And right now, I think the two main strategies that we apply, the momentum pullback scalp and the high-low scalp V2, there's no need to change anything here. The market's going to start to trend again, and the strategies here will work out perfectly. So I don't think there's anything in store for me to make any adjustments just yet. I mean, if there's any need for it, yeah, of course, we'll make some changes, but there's no plan for us to make any changes because the market's going to trend again at some point. If the market continues to range, you know, for the past 2 months, it's been ranging pretty much every single day. If that becomes the case and it continues to range into next year, then, you know, we'll make some small adjustments to our strategies here, probably to the TP stop loss, maybe the time frame that we're trading on. But I don't think we're going to make very many changes to the strategies at all. Like, the difference might just be time frame because, like, if the market's ranging, then we can trade on a higher time frame and it'll still work perfectly fine. It's just the 1 minute's not going to work as well, and we might have to trade for a longer period of time. So nothing really that I'm seeing, you know, forecasted for us. And if I see any indicators that I need to put together to improve our strategies, then yeah, that's something that I'll do. But as of now, I think everything we have at the moment is like perfectly fine. You know, if anything, I might be able to create an automatic, you know, high-low indicator with the lines here, but I don't think I'm going to do that because it's going to make the chart so messy. Like we have a bunch of lines all over the chart. it's just not going to look good, right? It's going to be too many lines. So yeah, no plans right now. But if I ever figure out that there's something that we need, then yeah, for sure I'd create it. Because I'm always looking to make trading more efficient. I'm just looking for, I'm always looking for more ways for us to make profit here. But not just any profit, right? I want consistent profit. I want every day for us to have 1 or 2 solid wins. And if there's anything that needs to be changed, then so be it. All right, we have yeah, Vince hit a possible V1 that's pending right here. Possible V1 variation right there if anybody's looking to catch that back up. Yeah, let's see. So V1 variation right there. Take a look and see what else we've got over here. The V1 looks pretty solid. Let me check everything else up. I mean, obviously the fundamentals are going to be super high. Everything's going to be bullish. So yeah, it's up like 400 points still. The retail sentiment over here is also up super heavily. Everything's bullish. So yeah. V1 variation right there. I think it already hit TP, it looks like. Yeah, full TP right there. Damn it, I have to pull out manually. I should held on to it. I caught it with you guys too. It just looked great. Everything was bullish. So like that's why I took it with you guys here, the V1 variation. Everything was just perfectly there for a buy, right? Everything's very bullish. Retail sentiment over here is super bullish. You don't want to trade with retail, of course. And you can see they're still stacking up. So I think price will continue climbing. So, when everything lines up, it's probably gonna be a good entry. Like for example, here retail sentiment was 67% short. The fundamentals are obviously bullish. There's no if and or whatever. It's for sure bullish. It's 400 points in the green. And then also if you look at the technicals here, everything here is pretty good. So yeah, nice work, Vince, on identifying that. Thanks for the little tip because I wasn't really looking at it as a V1 until you mentioned it out. Yeah, Vince said you should have held too. I should have held too. It's all good. I don't want to get caught in it because I think the spread is pretty wide on FTMO right now, guys. It's currently 190. So you want to be careful with that. So nice work right there. William caught it, Vince caught it, Kevin caught it. I got it. And momentum pullback scalp might be setting up over here as well, guys. Currently have a buy signal. We need price to push up a bit higher. So price needs to push up, retrace, and continue. Let me go over here real quick. I'm going to take a screenshot of the V1 variation so that you guys understand which strategy I took with the profit that I'm about to show you guys. I've been taking the V1 a little more lately. The V1 was one of our staples, so like it's not like it's something new. It's strategy that we've been applying for years now. I think it's been, I can't even remember when I created this strategy. I created this strategy maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And it's been a staple for us. A lot of people have been applying it since, I don't know, for the longest time. Take a screenshot. Yeah, Maddie said the V1 is super lucrative last year and it still is. Yeah, the V1's a really good strategy. It's just, you have to understand when to apply it, right? Because like, for example, like Vince applies it a lot of times, but sometimes he doesn't apply it when like there's a bias. The bias is one of the key ingredients to that strategy. And if you don't follow it, as it's supposed to be followed, then you're going to get caught in a lot of like bad entries. So, just rule of thumb is to make sure you confirm the bias. And it's going to be hard sometimes, especially when the market's ranging. But like, for example, today is a good day because the bias is pretty clear. Like you can't really screw up the bias today. It's bullish, super bullish. Man, I keep forgetting to change my freaking lot size on my personal account. It's so good. I keep forgetting that it's set at 0.02. It should be set higher, 0.03. It's all good. Profit's profit. Can't really cry about that. All right. So there's no entries here yet for any momentum pullback scalps. Price hasn't pushed up yet. Oh, guys. So here's one thing. So Steven, he had an issue over and I don't know why he did this. So Steven is even in here. Steven's not here. Okay. So the thing that I was, everybody knows this already. I don't know why Steven still does this, but so he held this trade over the weekend. I told him not to do it. Like, there's no reason for you to ever hold a trade over the weekend, right? Steven was up $1,000. And then he woke up on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon and was like, oh shit, like I'm down like 1,400. And I'm like, why'd you hold the trade over the weekend? Because he showed me the trade. He said he's trying to recover a loss. And I said, yeah, nice, that's a good win. I thought he closed out, but he didn't. He held on to it. And then what happened was, the spread gets kind of crazy over the weekend because the market's closed. And he ended up getting pulled out of the position. Like, he just got stopped out because his stop loss was so close. And then he got hit with some slippage. So he ended up taking a huge loss on his account. And he was kind of confused about like what happened. And I was trying to explain to him, but he just doesn't understand that like the spread kind of whitens out. He said that FX choice, it didn't happen, but it happened on FTMO. But I don't think he understands that it happens for all brokers, right? And all brokers are slightly different. The thing that you guys have to remember is to never hold a position over the weekend. It doesn't matter if you're on a swing count. The spread's going to widen out super wide, where unless you have no stop loss, or if you're ever going to hold a position over the weekend, always remember to take your stop loss off. I know it's going to be super risky because you might blow your account, but you won't get caught on something like this. Like, just never hold a position over the weekend or overnight. If you hold a position over 2 o'clock, because 2 o'clock is the transition day for the session, 2 o'clock Pacific time, the spread's going to get super wide. The spread will go from like maybe like 100 pips to like maybe 1,000 pips, right? Or 2,000 pips or 5,000 pips. It's going to be impossible to like get stuck in to hold on to the position unless you have the margin to hold on to it. So just a heads up, I'm going to try to continue to help Steven here, but he's kind of doing his own thing. So it's hard to help if like, you don't want help with your trade and stuff. So it's all good. But just keep that in mind, guys. I want to remind you guys, I don't think anybody here has that problem because nobody here swing trades, at least not from my knowledge. So I think everybody closes their position before it even gets to that point. So I would never recommend that you guys do anything like that. Let's see, CT said MPS. I don't think there's an MPS just yet, CT, because it has to push out of this area here. So the momentum signal is up here. It would have to be somewhere up here. So none of these down here would work because price is below the momentum signal. So we would need it to push up from here. And then if it retraces, this would be the lowest level for it to fill from right there. Yeah, no, I think if you take any buy right now, you're probably going to get lucky regardless because the bias is so strong. Yeah, exactly. The bias is so strong for a buy that, even if you take a lower entry point here, it's going to probably push up at least to get to that higher point. So you're good, CT. I know it's kind of confusing sometimes and it's kind of hard to follow, but yeah, we just need price to push above the momentum signal, which would be it'd be the closest level at 34,860. So if you guys are looking to take a momentum pullback scalp, that's going to be the opportunity right there. There's also an opportunity here for a high-low scalp V2. If price does come back down below here, let me check the 5-minute. 5 minutes still hasn't played through, but there's a new level right here that might be setting up. Okay, so this is where you guys want to be a little careful. The range here, price is within the range now at the moment. So Vince, if you remember the V1 that we took earlier, you actually took it at the perfect price. So you can see over here, price came down to the lower range, and it actually set up the V1 exactly at the lower range. So you actually like spot on got the best V1 that we could have like probably identified here, because and you probably could have held on to it longer. We both could have held on to it longer to maybe this higher level here, but it's all good. See, this is another thing that you guys can use. This is like another confluence. The V1 variation is projecting off the support, and then it pushed up super heavy. Yeah, that V1 is pretty solid. Now that I think of it, that was a really, really good V1. So nice work on catching that right there. 708. Let me just add this to the spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet over here, I mean, the last 3 trades I've taken have been V1s. I typically don't take V1s, but it's just been hitting like nonstop. So I think you should stick to your V1s, Vince. I think your V1 is starting to come through because we were starting to have a trending move again, which is perfect. Yeah, I think the last time I took a V1 was, I mean, it was pretty long. See, the last time I took a V1 variation was back in July. So I haven't taken a V1 since July, and it was only 1 entry. So like, yeah, beginning of summer, before markets started going sideways, we were taking V1s. We were taking it in June, July, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't taken it since then. There is a momentum pullback scalp that might be setting up right here, guys, if anybody's looking to take it. Again, you have to wait for the candle to close. Don't get in too early because you have to watch for the you got to watch for where the entry point is going to be. It might be down here. So entry point for the V1 variation is going to be at 34,870 down at the slower level. If anybody's looking to take that, I'm going to watch it for a little bit first, maybe let it pull back down, and I'll look to put a buy stop there and catch it as it swings back up. Entry still didn't get filled yet. So not there yet, but almost. It's also setting up for a high-low scalp V2 right here. Entry still hasn't filled. No entry here on the 5. So there's one right here that might be setting up for the high-low scalp V2. I think the momentum pullback scalp might have filled already, but as I mentioned, I was going to wait for it to pull down a little bit, and I could maybe put a buy stop right there. So I'm not in the position, at least not yet. I was looking for it to pull down a little bit and then swing back up. So if anything, I might get in over here for the high-low scalp V2. The ATR is actually really low right now, guys. So if you look at the ATR, it's currently at 16. So it's kind of died down a bit from where it was earlier. Let's see if I can get into this here. And I don't think I can get into it. Let me zoom in a little more. It's hard to tell because the MT4 is so freaking spread out. Gotta zoom in a bit. Yeah, the MT4 candles are kind of off. Let's see, the price is pushing up. Watching it right here. My entry wasn't good. I gotta pull out manually. There you go. Full TP right there, guys. My entry sucked because I got in right there. As I mentioned, I waited for price to pull down a little bit. I was gonna put a pending order. And when I put the pending order, I got hit with some slippage because it hit it and then it filled and then it pulled back down. So if you guys took it, I mean, it still hit full TP there. I'm not going to take any risks. I pulled out for partial because I just don't want to risk it. Well, not partial. I pulled out when it hit full TP, but I just manually pulled it as soon as it hit. Locked in 960, so about half profit on that trade right there. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said he pulled out for partial as well because of the spread. Nice. And it pushed up even further, so. And I'm glad the market's finally moving again. So this is what I was talking about, guys. You just have to be patient and disciplined and wait for the market to be volatile again. The market is finally being volatile and it's moving in the direction of a trend. So we're actually having some good entries today. The spread's super wide. Yeah, Andreas, the spread is wide now. I got caught in the position there. It's okay. I got out for a partial because for one, it filled it at like a bad entry point. And then as soon as it hit TP there, I just pulled out. Just wasn't worth the risk. You guys should not be risking, like taking too much risk today because there's just a lot of uncertainty in the market. I mean, I think price will continue climbing up, especially because sentiment here is so high. like, whoever's holding a sell right now, they're getting burned. Like their accounts are getting blown right now. Because if you can only imagine, um, like this morning, this thing was at like 66% already. So if you think about it, these people have been in some drawdown since like way down here. So if you measure price from this point right here up until here, people are in drawdown almost 2,000 pips right now. So whoever's holding on to those sells are just getting demolished right now. It's crazy. And this is the type of trader that you don't want to be. You don't want to be that person that's kind of praying that price is going to come back down, because it'll probably never come back down, right? Sometimes you just got to eat that loss and move on to the next trade. And if your trade hits TP, you can get greedy and be like, oh, I want to hold on to it for a couple more seconds. You just got to pull out of it as soon as you have that opportunity, because, this right here, this could have ended badly if it came back down, right? So I'm glad that I pulled out right there instead of, kind of hoping that it'll continue to push up higher, because it's just, and this thing's climbing, it's still climbing higher. So let me take a screenshot of this profit here. Entry came up at 720. Add this again to our spreadsheet. Here, let me just copy my profits over here real quick so that we have a gap in between the entries here, because I don't want these trades to be confused. Let me go to my official trades for the day. This is a momentum pullback scalp. We finally got one. It's been a while since we've had one. Entry came up at 720. It was for a buy, win, 100 pips. So we haven't been having big wins here, but the high-low scalp V2 hit TP earlier, but I didn't count it as a win. I'm only counting the trade that I'm actually taking myself. So there was a high-low scalp V2, but I'm not going to count it because obviously I want to be 100% transparent with you guys here with the entries that we're taking during these live sessions. So as you guys can see over here, we have no losses. We've been on a pretty good win streak since October 24th. Hopefully this continues on for the rest of the month, but I'm going to try to be as careful as possible with my entries here. So other than that, I'm going to add this up over here. Full TP on the momentum pullback scalp. And again, we are looking for the next opportunity here. And then another hit over here for the high-low scalp V2. Damn, this thing hit, Maddie. Where you at? I don't know if did you get in on it? That's crazy. This thing is pretty solid. Today's been a great day, guys. I don't know about you guys, but we're having a great day today with these entries. Everything, like all of our official entries and our strategies that we're applying, they're all hitting full TP. High-low scalp V2, two of them today. So that's already 600 pips if you took both of these entries here. I didn't take either of them, unfortunately. But yeah, the high-low scalp V2 here hit. That's about 600 pips. We had two momentum pullback scalps here hit. That's another 200 pips. That's 800 pips for the day. If you took the official strategies, it's not even like all of the other strategies, but just the official ones, because there's a V1 variation that came up that we took. That was a full TP too. So that's about 900 pips. If you took the liquidity push over here, that's another 100 pips. That's 1,000 pips for the day. If you took it over here for the retest, that's another 100 pips. That's 1,100 pips for the day. All the entries that we've identified, all entries that we looked at and we kind of plan on taking, they all hit full TP. So it's been a great trading day today. To make up for like the past couple of weeks, right? And this is kind of what I've been like preaching to you guys, that like you guys have to just be disciplined. On the days that the trades don't come up, just don't take any trades. Or if you want to take a trade, take a partial. But on a day like this, you can let your trades run because all of them are hitting. All the high-low scalp V2s hit, all the momentum pullback scalps hit, all the V1 variations hit, all liquidity hit. It's just a solid day overall. So we'll continue looking for more trades here, guys. It's about to be 7:30. If the market starts to move kind of funky, then I might not take any more trades. I'm pretty happy with my profits for the day. I didn't get the full TPs, but I'm still pretty happy with the profits that we made for the day, because today's not a day to take anything, crazy. There's another high-low scalp V2 that's actually running right now, guys. There's another one that just came up right here. I'm not in the position. It's too late for me to get in. So I'm just going to follow it. But it is currently active right now and in profit. Another one here just came up. Yeah, I know. Andrea said finally after a while. It's been a while, yeah, for these trades to come through. William said he pulled out manually. Good money today. Question time for Sean. When you tell us you're placing a pending order, are you doing that on MT4? Yeah, I have to do it on MT4. There's no other way for me to do it, William, because that's the only place I can place my orders. So the way that I do it, and you're saying, are you doing that? I never used this feature before. Yeah, so I right click and then I go to trading and then I go to new order. And that's where I place it. What I'll do is I'll just see where price is currently at. So say, for example, here, see how the entry right here is at this candle, at this green candle? Like, see how you have the higher high right there? What I'll do is I'll just look at my MT4. I'll see what I'll match up with that same exact candle. So I'll say, okay, this green candle right here is where the higher high is at, right? I'll go and I'll put my line on MT4 and I'll see what price is it on MT4. I'll typically round it to the closest whole number because that's the easiest way to do it. And that's how I set up my pending order. So if price is below, and this is usually how I'll order it. So this is how I'll set up the order. If price pulls back below it, I'll have a buy stop. So that's typically the pending order that I'll put up. So as soon as price comes back down, like if, say, for example, price is down here, right? I'll set my buy stop right there at this price point, but on MT4, so that when price comes up, it automatically fills and it goes straight to my TP. That's exactly what I did over here with the momentum pullback scalp. It's a little difficult at first because you have to be very quick with setting it up, because if you don't set it up quick enough, the entry is not going to fill, right? So, or you're not going to get the order up, because by the time, like for example, right here, if you wanted to do the same thing here, you'd be too late. You have to, like, literally as soon as it comes down below, you click set the order, and then when you set the order, the order is going to be ready to be filled. So it just takes practice. If you do it a couple times, it's not really that difficult. It's like setting your first order in trading, right? It's hard the first time, or maybe the first couple of times, but eventually it's super simple to put your pending order in. So I'd recommend you do it with like maybe a demo account for a while. Or if you want to do it with your own account, do it with like the smallest lot size, like a 0.01. So you're only risking pennies. And if you make a mistake, you can just pull out for pennies versus risking your entire account, taking a full lot size. The ETR is very low right now, guys. So you guys want to be careful with your entries. So if you want to take this entry right here, I probably would take it for a partial. I mean, it looks like the partial is already, the 100 has already hit. When the ETR starts to get low, you want to be careful with your entries because you're going to get caught in a range. So price is now ranging. I would recommend, if you guys are still in this position, I'd probably pull out at the 100 right here or at profit if you guys are happy with what you have at the moment, because it's starting to get a lot slower. The ETR is now at 15. You can see it's kind of jumped around a bit. It was currently at like 20, 21, 25, and then now, yeah, you guys have opportunity here to pull out. Candles are looking very blocky. So I personally would pull out already right now, guys. It's not looking great with these blocky candles here. There's no momentum pullback scalps at the moment. All right, let's look at the team profits. So we got Andreas over here. His earlier profits were 460. Nice work right there, Andreas. And then he took the second trade over here, total profit of 680. You can see that Andreas here pulled out of his positions with a partial profit because of the spread. Typically, he's making about 1,000, but for this trade here, he specifically locked in about partial of that, which is fine. It's completely fine. And it happens. So he was smart about it, pulled out when necessary, and he's good. So, all right, other than that, let's see. We have more profits over here. So let's start off. Andreas here locked in 460 on his first try. His second account over here, or second trade, total profit of 1,140. We have Kenneth here, total profit of 1,610 for the day. Nice work right there, Kenneth. We got Maddie over here, total profit of 2,100 for the day. Locked in 200 per account, so about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. Yeah. So Maddie over here, 210 per account times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 accounts, so 210 times 10 made 2,100 for the day. Nice work, Maddie. We got Francis over here. Nice work, Francis. Locked in 240 per account, so 240 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 times 8, well over 1,000 for the day. So nice work right there, Francis. My math sucks, so I'm just gonna round it to whatever I can round it to. We got Kevin over here, total profit of 42,440 for the day. Nice work, Kevin. when you have a strong trend like that, you can just take buys and let them run. We got Barack over here, total profit of 1,680 for the day. Nice work, Barack. Yeah, definitely. Cheers. We got Vince over here, total profit of 355 for the day. All wins there. Nice work, Vince. We got Lisa here, not on live, but she did take the trade earlier this morning. She locked in a total profit of 1,883 yesterday. And then for today, she locked in a total profit of 2,722. Nice work, Lisa. So that is her FTMO. And then here is her other account, total profit of 4,070 for the day. Nice work. And you guys are killing it. Everybody's doing great today. So I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here killing it. I know it's like been a crazy 2 months where it's just been tough with a lot of this ranging market, but you guys are definitely doing very well today. We got Kenny over here, total profit of 2,340 for the day. All wins here. And again, big congrats to Maddie over here. So you can see Maddie just got funded 2 more 150K accounts on Apex. So right here, Maddie got his first one and then his second one right here. So Maddie has a lot of accounts with Apex now, as you guys can see. Again, if you guys want to get mentored by Maddie, Maddie's gotten about like 4 people funded, I think, about now on Apex. Maddie's our Apex expert here. He's killing it. He has 2 more accounts there. So if you look over here at Maddie's accounts, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 accounts on Apex. That's crazy. That's a lot of accounts right there. So, and yeah, you can see here, Maddie's just taking 1 trade, right? He's taking 1 trade and then they add up to 2,100. So great work right there, Maddie. And keep going. Just gotta keep going, bro. He's helping majority of people get funded, and he's doing this free of charge. So just keep that in mind. Maddie's doing this completely free, helping people. I don't know how much longer he'll be doing it for free because a lot of his time is getting taken up. So I would try to get help from him as soon as possible if you guys want to get mentored, because I'm not doing any mentoring right now myself. One-on-ones, but hopefully by next year I'll get into the mentoring mood again, and then I'll probably try to mentor you guys just like Maddie's doing. We got Craig over here, total profit of 321 for the day. All wins here. Nice work, Craig. Yeah, Craig said he had to hold this for a lifetime to lock that in because his leverage stucks on his broker Maven. We got Eunice over here, total profit of 566 for the day. Nice work, Eunice. He just got funded on Top Step. So nice work to Eunice over here. Big congrats. Another member here on in our community who just got funded with Top Step. So great work right there, Eunice. Dang, that's crazy. We got I think every week we have maybe 2 or 3 people who get funded, maybe more. This week, I think we've had about 4 or 5 people get funded just from the trade, and the market hasn't been great. We got Dave over here, total profit of 874 for the day. All wins. Nice work to see you back here, Dave. I know it's been a while since we've seen you pop into here. And then we have Johnny over here with a total profit of 370 for the day. Nice work, Johnny. So I think this is really the proof of concept, guys. Seeing everybody here profiting, I can show you guys my profits. Obviously I'm going to profit because you guys see me trade here live, but I think seeing everybody else here profit, there's a lot of people who profited today off these trades. This shows you that anybody can do it as long as you follow directions and you stick to the live session and you just do what you're supposed to do on these markets. You guys can do very well. So as you guys can see over here for the high-low scalp V2, hopefully you guys pulled out where I drew these lines at, the 200 and the 100 mark. As you can see, price is now consolidating and it's ranging. It's not a good area to trade in right here. You guys can see this high-low scalp V2 has been running for quite some time. If you guys saw the one from earlier this morning, that thing went straight to TP like it's supposed to. This one over here is now ranging. It's been running for about 12 minutes now. So it's way past its deadline. So I would recommend if you guys are in this position, I wouldn't get greedy. If you can pull out right now, pull out. If you want to pull out at the 200 mark, pull out at that. But I wouldn't hold on to it for too long because price is now ranging within this area. I'll mark up a new range right here. Let's use this one right here. So you can see that price is now consolidating around this area. It's not really worth the risk, guys. I know at this point, you might as well just pull out and profit if you can. I don't really see anything happening from now until 8 o'clock. You guys can see the ATR here is now down to 14. It's below 15. So we can't even take any momentum pullback scalps if they do come up. So I probably want to be careful. You probably want to be careful within these entries here. Again, you guys have opportunity to pull out 200 pips right here. I wouldn't risk the trade for the last 10 pips, last 10 points here when you can just pull out at 200, right? So again, if you guys want to pull out, I'm giving you guys the biggest heads up here to pull out. If not, it's fine. Go ahead and hold on to it. But you have to understand the risk with holding on to this position when it's been running for this extended period of time with the volatility so low. All right, question from Barack. Barack's asking, hey, Sean, nowadays, do you share mentorship sessions on your YouTube channel? Yeah, it's still the same. Nothing's changed. Everything's been the same how it's always been. Again, just a reminder, today we're having our mentoring session at 2 p.m. So if you guys want to hop onto that mentoring session, that's probably the best time to ask any of these detailed questions, because I can break it down for you, show you examples, and really help you guys understand the concept that you guys are struggling with. So today, mentoring session at 2 p.m. And other than that, let's see. Yeah, other than that, I don't really see anything else here. So let me just go ahead and take a screenshot of my profits real quick. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But for right now, I'm just going to take a screenshot of this, and then we'll see where we'll go from here. So it's been a pretty decent week. Nothing too crazy, but I mean, it's pretty decent for the most part. All right. So now let me finally post my profits here. All right, so here are my profits for the day so far and for the week. So this is my funded engineer account locked in 1,070. This is my FTMO locked in 1,340. My second FTMO locked in 2,080. My third FTMO locked in 2,680. This is my funded engineer, my second account, locked in a total profit of 525. This is my personal account with Hero FX, locked in 280. This is my second personal account with IC Markets, locked in 420. This is my TFF, locked in 1,330, and then my second TFF locked in 1,330 as well. So if I was to add that up, so for the day so far, I'm currently up 1070, 1340, 2080, 2680, 525, 280, 420, 1330, 1330. So total profit of 11,055 for the day. That's how much I made for today. For the week so far, I locked in 1650, 1930, 3160, 3860, 785, 390, 630, 1796, and 1696. So total profit of 15,897 for the week. So I'm up 11,000 for the day, 15,000 for the week. Nothing too crazy. I took 2 trades or a couple of trades this week. I think just 2. I took one, maybe 2 partials and 1 full trade. And that's how much I'm up for the week so far. So as you guys can see, it adds up when you have multiple accounts. My goal here is to at least get you guys to this one, at least one of these accounts, right? If you're on a 100K account, I want to get you guys to make it about 1,000 a day. If you're on a 200K account, I want to get you to about 2,000 a day. If you're on a smaller account, I want to get you to about 500 a day, right? That's the main goal here. My main goal is to get you guys to be profitable, because if you guys are profitable, I'm profitable, right? Because if you're winning, I'm winning. It's guaranteed, right? There's no way for you guys to be profitable and I'm not. So that's the goal here, guys. I mean, I'm going to show you guys, quality entries again right here. I'm hoping you guys pulled out of the position, because I gave you guys a bunch of opportunity to pull out way up here. My main goal here is not necessarily to give you guys a bunch of wins. My main goal here is to prevent you guys from losing, because if you guys are not losing and you guys are taking, quality entries here and there, your profits are just going to continue to stack up. I want you guys to be able to take a screenshot of your weekly statement and then show that you're consistently profitable every single week or every month or every year. Because that's really the goal here, guys. The goal here is to understand how not to lose, because it's easy to win in trading. It's hard not to lose. I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of people. A lot of people are too focused on trying to win that they don't understand how not to lose. And what happens is they'll win and then they'll lose double, right? And they end up in negative. So you just got to keep that in mind. All right, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie said he's done for the day. He's gonna head out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, Maddie. All right, so Maddie's all done for the day. I'll see you back here tomorrow. If there's any other questions, guys, feel free to put them in the chat. There's no entries for us to take here at the moment. I'm hoping all of you guys have pulled out of this high-low scalp V2 when you guys had the opportunity up here. I try to warn you guys as much as possible to pull out because price is now starting to turn here. The problem with the current market conditions is that volatility is super low. It's currently at 14. So you're going to get a lot of this back and forth ranging movement here. So whenever I see volatility die down like this is why I typically warn you guys, okay, it's time to pull out because the last thing you want to do is get caught in this heavy range here because price is now in this range and there's nothing worth getting stuck in because you're going to be stuck in this range for a while. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm going to hang around for a little bit and take the individual screenshots of my profits. So I'll be here for like the next couple moments. But if there's no questions, we're going to wrap this up in a few. So I'll be back here in a few hours though. So if you guys have any more deeper questions for me to answer, I'll be here for the mentoring session at 2 o'clock. If you guys need me to reschedule for a later time, let me know. Well, it's too late now. You guys can't let me know what this is the day of, so I can't reschedule anymore. But yeah, in the future, if you guys ever want me to reschedule, just let me know because I typically can accommodate for, well, I already accommodated for today, but I'll typically accommodate if you guys need me to have it on a different day. But again, guys, I'm doing group mentoring sessions once a month now. It's not weekly anymore because I'm just not looking to mentor as much as I used to. This might change next year. So I'm not looking to mentor now, but next year I might want to mentor again. So this isn't the end of my mentoring. It's I just make so much from trading, so I don't need a mentor. Like, you think about it, mentoring people is a lot of work. It's a lot of stress and it's a lot of work because I have to like really teach people the ins and outs of trading and how to understand certain things. And for me, I'm pretty happy with just not teaching, right? I just come on with you guys here for about an hour to trade every morning. We all make profits and we go along with our day. So yeah, just keep an eye out because I think next month, I've been talking with Maddie because we want to do like a more hands-on mentoring where I'll pretty much be mentoring you guys every single day. But that's still in the works. I don't know. I still got to figure out if I want to do that or not. It's just really time consuming on my end. And I'm also working with the hedge fund. So there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, guys. That's how I have the IC Markets account. I'm currently working with a hedge fund right now in Dubai. We're trying to figure out a way for me to get licensed here in the United States so I can start maybe managing accounts. So that's another big thing too. So here's another big thing that might be coming along. Once I get licensed here to manage money and start my own hedge fund, I'll probably start adding people's accounts to my copier. So there's gonna be a lot of ways for you guys to make money here in the group because I'll just, once I have that, you guys will probably pay a fee and I'll add your account to my copier and then my trades get copied to your account. But again, I need to get licensed for that before I can start doing it. So I mean, it's a win-win for all of us, guys. I make money trading. You guys make money from trading. We all make money from trading. And then you guys will also be trading on top of that. So a lot of big things coming next year. I just got to sort a lot of this stuff out. Let me see, I got this here. All right, I got all my individual profits here posted. And we'll wrap this up. All right, guys, so let's see. All right, Nick, we'll see you back here later for the mentoring session. Alan's asking when we get the charts, will we see the ranges you show? I mean, you have to just do what I'm doing, Alan. This stuff isn't automatic. So like, it's not very difficult to identify the ranges. I'm just marking up the zones here where the higher highs are at. So I can show you how to do that. It's not super difficult. Like, if I was to take all this stuff off right here, you can just turn on the higher highs and lower lows. You'll know exactly where to draw your zones. So you can see where the higher highs are. You can draw your zones there. Like, you kind of want to have some space. So you could have multiple zones there if you wanted, but you wouldn't want to have a big mess like that. So see, like, you don't want to have all these, there's too many zones in between. Like, you want to have some space in between them. But you can see right there, once you have the indicator, you got the zones. So it's not super difficult. It's very simple. And I can show you how to do that. It's not, I mean, I do it every day. So if you just, if you follow the mentoring, that follow the live session, you'll see that I do this every single morning. And I can also show you manually too. It's not too difficult. But yeah, once you have the indicators, you guys can do this. It's not very difficult. I think it's better that you do this. I can have it where it's automated, but if I automated everything for you, you wouldn't know how to do anything, right? So I think it's better to have the tools and then use these tools to actually draw the zones yourself, because you can make adjustments to however you like to have the zones drawn up. Because you can have a zone there, you can have a zone right here, or you can have a zone right here, right? But if you don't want this zone here, you can just take it off. You have another range right there. So I can show you how to do that, Alan, once you have the indicators. I think it's better for you to actually understand what you're doing rather than for it to be automatically plotted on your chart, because everybody sees things slightly differently. And it just helps you get better and better at doing it, because you don't want everything to be automatically done for you, because you don't want to, like, one day the indicator stop working, or like the one day I'm just not here because I'm not trading for the day, and you won't know how to market your own zones. So I'd rather teach you guys so that you guys have at least a basic understanding of how to do it. All right, we got some more profits here from Kevin. Nice work, Kevin, on this recovery week for you. 660 for the day. Nice work right there with those profits. Let me go and just post up my individual profits, guys. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. It's getting close to 8 o'clock, so we're gonna wrap this up soon. But here are my individual profits. So here is my funded engineer account locked in 1,070. That's my first one. Here's my FTMO locked in 1,340. All wins there. FTMO 1. My second FTMO locked in 2,080. My third FTMO locked in 2,680. This is my second funded engineer account locked in 525. All wins here. Here is my personal account locked in 420 on my, this is, sorry, 296. This is my Hero FX account. This is my IC Markets account locked in 420. Here's my TFF locked in 1,330. And my second TFF locked in 8,330 as well. So those are all my profits for the day. Profits for the day, profits for the week. I mean, it's been a pretty solid day and week so far, guys, with my trades and, profit wise. So, all right, I think that's it for the day, guys. Andreas said incredible day today. Let's hope tomorrow will be the same. I hope so. Let's see, we have more inflation news coming out, so hopefully that'll continue to push price in a direction, and we'll be able to continue looking for entries here. If you guys held on to the high-low scalp beats, you guys that just hit full TP, this is a lot of stress here to hold on to this position for that long, but the trade did play out perfectly. I'm going to go and add this to the spreadsheet. This came up at 726. Another full TP right there. $11, 14, 23, 726. It was for a buy, win, 300 pips. So as you guys can see, heavy range took about 20 minutes to hit full TP. I'll just put that right there in the notes. So as you guys can see, the high-low scalp V2 is a really good strategy. It's just sometimes it's kind of iffy when the market's not really moving smoothly, but for the most part, it is a very good strategy to apply. I'm just going to update the data sets over here. So you can see it's very profitable with the sample that we have right here currently so far. Currently 20 wins, 9 losses, 3,300 pips profit, total trades of 29 trades, total win-loss ratio of 68%. So this is pretty good because it's a 1-to-1 risk to reward. So anything above 50 is profitable. And this is actually pretty profitable. So pretty good strategy right there. And yeah, I think that's about it, guys. So, all right, if there's any other questions, guys, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will be back here in about 6 hours for the group mentoring session for this month. So if you guys have any more questions, make sure to attend that group mentoring session, and we'll cover stuff more in detail over there. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys back here in a couple hours for the